She said, "You're under arrest for trespassing," and I almost laughed. That Saturday morning, I was trimming the hedge outside my driveway when a black SUV with flashing blue lights pulled up. Two men in tactical vests jumped out, barking orders like they were in some TV show. The woman behind them, Karen, the self-appointed queen of our so-called HOA, stood with her arms crossed, smirking like she'd just caught a fugitive. "You've been warned, sir," she said, waving a stack of papers. "You're trespassing on HOA property. We're detaining you until real officers arrive." I looked around. This was my land. My name was carved on the mailbox, my deed framed in my office. And yet here she was, acting like she owned the street. The fake cops moved closer, one even reaching for his cuffs. "Ma'am," I said slowly, trying not to laugh, "you sure you know what you're doing?" Karen rolled her eyes. "Save it for the judge. I've already called dispatch. You're in deep trouble." The SUV door slammed, the fake officers positioned themselves like they were making an arrest, and the neighbors started peeking through their curtains. I could feel my pulse rising, but not out of fear, out of disbelief. These people had no idea who they were messing with. One of the men said, "Hands behind your back." That's when I finally turned to face him properly. I pulled out my wallet and flipped it open. The gold badge caught the morning light. "Chief Daniel Ward, County Police Department," I said, my voice calm but sharp. "Now tell me again, who exactly are you?" Karen's smile cracked for the first time. The fake officer froze mid-step, his hand halfway to his belt. Silence spread down the whole block. "Wait," he stuttered. "You can't be." "Oh, I am," I said, stepping closer. "And unless you want to explain to the real cops why you're impersonating law enforcement, I'd start talking fast." Her confident smirk vanished completely. For the first time, she looked nervous. Karen's face drained of color as I took a slow step toward the SUV. The two fake officers exchanged a quick glance, the kind that said, "We're screwed, but maybe we can still run for it." I held up my hand. "Don't even think about it." My tone changed, cold and professional, the kind of voice that shuts down a room. "IDs, now." One of them muttered, "We were just helping the HOA." "Helping?" I cut him off. "By impersonating police officers? That's a felony." Karen suddenly found her voice again. "No, they're private security. I hired them for community safety." I turned, raising an eyebrow. Community safety doesn't come with police lights, badges, and handcuffs. You've crossed the line. The neighbors had gathered outside by now, whispering, phones out, recording every second. Karen tried to snatch the fake citation papers from my hand, but I held them out of reach. The logo at the top wasn't from any real HOA. It was printed on cheap copy paper, with a fake city seal that looked like it was traced from Google Images. I said, "Who gave you this template, Karen? You don't have the brains to pull this off yourself." Her lips tightened. "I don't have to tell you anything." "Oh, you will," I said, stepping past her toward the SUV. I opened the driver's door and leaned in. What I saw made my stomach twist. A dash-mounted tablet showing live camera feeds of my property. The cameras weren't neighborhood ones. They were hidden feeds from inside my fence line. I turned back to Karen, my voice lower now. "You've been spying on me?" Her fake confidence returned for a split second. "We just needed proof you were violating HOA standards." I couldn't help but laugh, though there was nothing funny about it. "Karen, I live outside the HOA. You have zero authority here." That's when one of the fake officers tried to make a move, reaching subtly toward his waistband. I caught it instantly. My instincts kicked in. I kept my gun steady as backup sirens wailed in the distance. The real units I had radioed quietly with the emergency code only my team would recognize. The fake cops looked like they'd seen ghosts. Karen kept shouting, "This is a misunderstanding! He's lying! He's trying to frame me!" But her voice cracked every few words. I said nothing. I just stared her down until she looked away. That's when I noticed something else. The plate on the SUV wasn't a normal one. It was a government fleet tag. No way. I crouched, running my hand along the rear bumper, and found a small sticker that didn't belong. It was a barcode used for city maintenance vehicles. Someone had access to government property. "Where'd you get this vehicle?" I asked, turning my glare on the taller imposter. He hesitated. "It was assigned." "By who?" Before he could answer, the real cruisers rolled up, lights flashing red and blue across every window. My officers stepped out fast, weapons drawn. One of them, Captain Morales, looked at me with wide eyes. "Chief, what the hell is going on?" I lowered my gun slightly. Fake cops, illegal vehicle, and Karen here is at the center of it. Karen's voice rose to a shriek. "You can't arrest me! I am the HOA president! I have rights!" Morales sighed. "Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Use it." As my team cuffed the fake officers, Morales showed me something he'd found in the SUV, a binder stuffed with names, maps, and property details. The first page had mine. The second had the mayor's. I felt the air leave my lungs. This wasn't some neighborhood feud anymore. Someone higher up was organizing these faith enforcers, targeting landowners who weren't part of the HOA system, people they couldn't control. Karen tried to act innocent, but when we pulled her phone, we saw text threads, long ones, with a contact saved as M. Director. I whispered, "Who's M. Director, Karen?" She swallowed hard, avoiding my eyes. That night, I sat in my office staring at the evidence board. The binder, the photos, the printed text logs from Karen's phone. The name M. Director was circled in red ink, but there was no face to match it. Every trail led into government records that were either sealed or conveniently misplaced. Morales knocked on the door and stepped in. "Chief, forensics just confirmed the SUV was a real city vehicle, reported missing 2 weeks ago from the Municipal Operations Division." I looked up. M. Director, Municipal Director. It clicked. Someone inside City Hall was using HOA networks to pressure private landowners, pretending to enforce fake community rules to drive people out. Karen wasn't a mastermind, she was a pawn, and I'd just blown their cover. I stood, tightening my belt holster. "Get a warrant ready. We're visiting City Hall first thing tomorrow." Morales hesitated. "You think they'll go quietly?" I gave him a dry smile. "No, but that's the fun part." The next morning, I walked into the municipal building with 2 deputies behind me. The clerk at the front desk froze when she saw the badges. Within minutes, we had the director's office surrounded. He was calm when I entered. Too calm. "Chief Ward," he said smoothly, like he'd been expecting me, "I heard about your little incident. Misunderstanding, I'm sure." I dropped the binder on his desk. "Your missing vehicle, your paid agents, your fake cops. Try explaining that." His smile didn't even waver. "You have no proof I authorized anything." I leaned closer. "Actually, I do. I tossed a USB onto his papers. Security footage from your parking garage shows one of your staff handing Karen those fake IDs. For the first time, his composure cracked. "You can't." "Oh, I can. And I just did." Within hours, the DA had him in cuffs. Turns out he'd been using HOA fronts to seize valuable land for development kickbacks, selling properties under the table to private contractors. My land had been next on the list. When it was over, Karen sat across from me in the interview room, tears streaking her face. "I didn't know," she kept saying. "I thought we were helping the community." I nodded slowly. "You wanted power, Karen. You just picked the wrong person to play authority with." A week later, the story hit every local news channel. HOA scandal exposed. Chief of police uncovers city conspiracy. My phone flooded with messages from neighbors, veterans, and old